Hello, happy to be back again to address this time processes in Pro Workflow System module. In this video, we will together go through how processes are triggered. But before, let me remind you that you can get the definitions of all workflow terms watching the presentation video titled Understanding Workflows Automation in Odoo with Pro Workflow System module. We have drawn routes. We have also defined and customized procedures and seeker. Now we are going to monitor the processes rising from day-to-day management. For each record which matches at least one procedure, a process is initialized in two manners depending on the setting on the trigger tip field of the matched procedure. So let's get back and look at our two example, one of the example procedures. When we defined the procedure, we have set the trigger tip to automatic, and the model is purchase order, meaning that when an instance of purchase order is created somewhere or everywhere in the Odoo ecosystem, this if it matches this procedure, a process is triggered based on this procedure. Let's get here the processes. You can see that processes cannot be initialized by user. They are initialized to the two manners we will see next. If the trigger tip field is, however, set to manual, we have to get into the form of the procedure and click on trigger processes. Here we select all the records we wanted to trigger and click on trigger button. Let's, for example, trigger the purchase order number 1, because we have already, when we installed the module, we had some purchase orders. So the purchase order number 1 is here. We will trigger it. Purchase order is triggered and the process is initialized based on the procedure. We can see here the process, the triggered process. This is the manual triggering of processes. Now let's see the automatic triggering. All we have to do is create a new purchase order. We set the vendor reference currency. We keep it to safer. Now add product. We can say unit quantity we want 10. So the total is 1205 CFA. If we save it, we get back here to our processes, and we see that a new process is triggered for the newly created purchase order. This is the automatic way to trigger process. Now let's see the purchase order we have created here have a total amount of 1,205 SEPA, and the process triggered for it is based on the workflow in the quotation order basic procedure. The quotation order basic procedure. Here we can see it has triggered the quotation basic procedure because it matches this procedure. Now let's create another purchase order, and we set product and word. We need 100, and the price would be 6,000 SEPA, 60,000 SEPA. If we save and get back here processes, we can see that for this it has a trigger here, the process, and here too it has triggered the quotation order basic procedure and the purchase order special procedure. Why it has triggered two procedures? Let's get to the procedures. Let's see the quotation order basic procedure. The domain condition is status to RFQ. The status is RFQ. So this newly created purchase order matches this procedure. So it has triggered a process based on this procedure. The another procedure is order special procedure. Here the condition is the domain is the currency must be SEPA and the total amount must be at least 10,000. Here we have the currency is SEPA and the total amount is 6,000, which is greater than 10,000. So this purchase order also matches this procedure. So it has triggered a process based on this procedure. Now we have the procedures triggered. This is how we try the processes in Odoo now using this module, the Pro Workflows system module. All we have to do now is unroll our processes from the beginning to the end. The next video will talk about declaring job execution at process stage. Remember that we have said that required jobs configured for workflow root stages must be declared as executed to continue unrolling the process. This is all for today. Bye and see you next.